Oh boy. Ronnie. So, when the situationship, the entanglement began between RAQ and Unique, I wasn't here for it. I didn't like it. I like Unique. I like RAQ. I didn't like the idea of them together. As I'm sitting here watching the show, and the scene opens up on Ronnie and Juliana, I was taken aback because I was confused at first. I didn't understand what was going on. I wasn't sure of who these people were. Like, I saw what I saw, but I didn't believe what I was seeing. And when, my conscious mind caught up, I started laughing. It was one of the weirdest scenes I've ever seen. Awkward, is it? Ronnie is, sitting on the couch, just stone cold, not at all. He looked like he probably looked when he was watching the TV with it off. And his Juliana trying to have, sexy time with him. He's just sitting there staring forward, stiff as hell, not engaging at all. And she's sitting there, kissing him. And it's how did you get here? How did this even happen? It was awkward because the scene just opened up like this. And it's how did this situation even come about? Because, I don't know, based on what we've seen from Ronnie, now the actor that plays him is actually quite handsome, right? Ronnie isn't ugly, he's just very weird. So, based on what we've seen of the character Ronnie, who would look at this guy and be like, you know what, I'm gonna get some of that. I don't see trying to kiss Ronnie. When Ronnie was in the club with Unique, I understand the women being all over him because Unique sent them over, But here, those women didn't know Ronnie because otherwise I'm sure they would have left him alone. Juliana has had some interactions with Ronnie. What about those interactions would attract you to Ronnie? And more importantly, what about those interactions would lead you to believe that Ronnie is interested in whatever it is that you're interested in? Just the most awkward exchange ever. And it's Juliana is just clueless because, this dude is not at all there. Just sitting with you kissing all over him. And how are you okay continuing? And that what breaks up this one-sided love fest is Pernessa walking in. And it's just to add to it, Ronnie turns around and asks Pernessa what she's doing there. And it's sir, this is her house. You in here sitting up on the couch, as Pernessa says, with this lady from the bodega. What is going on here exactly? How and why? Because it's just a lot going on. A few words, but a lot. Because, I'm not surprised by that the two of them are not living there together. What I'm more surprised by is that Pernessa was the one to move, because it's her house. But it speaks to how awkward things are with Ronnie. I wouldn't feel safe living there with him. If you recall when he was, basically stealing Unique's jewelry, and Pernessa confronted him, that he like just pushed her out the way. Knowing how that guy gets down, like, I would be afraid to be in the house alone with him. You know, like, you in your bed sleeping, and this dude is like just moving about the house in the middle of the night, or sitting down in the living room in the dark with the TV off just staring. Who would be comfortable with that? You know, it was uncomfortable enough when Unique was in the house, much less for it to just be her and her son, after you probably at this point have some suspicions that he had something to do with Unique disappearing. So Pernessa's now staying at her mother's house, and the thing about it now is, with Juliana, aka Griselda Blanco, now in Ronnie's ear, you know, she put him up to killing Unique, and now you have her whispering in his ear about Pernessa that, you know, she can be a problem. I think up to this point, Ronnie probably didn't do anything to Pernessa because he probably was looking at her as, you know, like she's nothing to be afraid of, you know, or she can't really do anything to him. But with Juliana whispering in his ear, it might end up, you know, and especially because she mentions to him that, number one, they're supposed to be keeping this connection between them, their business dealings, quiet. But Pernessa comes in and sees Ronnie with the lady from the bodega kissing all over him. You know, questions might be asked if she mentions that to people in the know. And where Juliana kind of has to keep this stuff quiet, or wants to keep this stuff quiet, having Pernessa walk in on them and knowing of this one-sided romantic entanglement between them, it's not a good idea, right? Because knowing that, people might then start to ask questions or put two and two together about them having business dealings as well. And given that it's not clear why, but that she's kind of going behind her cousin's back to start up this business relationship, it might lead to some questions, you know? And so with that, I think Pernessa was safe for a moment, but she's seemingly now on Ronnie's radar, you know, and that can be a problem. After the situation between Ronnie and Juliana, where Pernessa walked in and became aware of the two of them having dealings with each other, let's say, Ronnie later on went to speak to Pernessa, really to threaten her indirectly, you know, by showing false concern. And my fear was that he would do something to her, and I don't think it's out the beyond expectations that he still might, but at least for right now, you know, I think that he probably feels that just by talking to her, you know, and threatening her, that might be enough to keep her quiet. Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, go ahead and